Ladies and gentlemen, once again, it's a pleasure having you on this show. Today, again, I want to invite you to be with us all through this discussion, because today we're going to look at other things that actually have been making news, most especially the Malindi by-election. We want to see the case study of what's going to happen on Monday, because tomorrow is Monday, and this one is going to be a huge test for both CORD and Jubilee, because we know each and every side is gunning to get that seat and retain it, or either dethrone the other. All this is going to be spoken and analyzed by these two gentlemen who are here. Apart from that, I also want to welcome you to other shows that will always come here on LTN. Now, I want to begin by you telling us your name. I know you are a very prominent figure now on TV. You're also a very prominent figure on TV, but it doesn't hurt just to give your name.
Hello viewers, I'm Samson Wimba Ujia.
These days we don't say you are director.
Yes, I'm director of Ati Water Services.
Thank you. Yes, Mr.
Yes, Evina the viewers, my name is Gitonga Wadaga, a businessman and a CORD at the ODM member of STARE.
Thank you.
In Nairobi.
Yes. Okay, now, gentlemen, today we want to begin by looking at what is going to happen just in the by-elections that are just due in a few hours. We've seen both the government and the opposition side take serious, heavy campaigns down to the coast. Everybody wanting to get these seats. How important is this exercise for the by-election of Malindi to both sides of the divide, both the opposition and both the Jubilee side? Let me begin by the Jubilee side. What do you guys want to get out of this by-election?
I think, Anik, to me, there's no alarm actually which you are trying to bring in this issue of by-election. By-election will remain by-election, whichever angle you want to look at it. And no party, both the ruling party and the opposition, will want actually to clean the seat. And that is what they are doing. That's why everybody is identified with that. Malindi by-election, and we are all aware that that seat actually by then belonged to who?
CORD.
It was CORD seat, and it would also better if government can take it. So it's an election. So I don't see a very big thing about Malindi issue today.
Don't you think if Jubilee wins, it would be a very huge boost for them in going to 2017 elections?
It will be a boost to some extent. But that is not actually what we can say that will add value as such. But it's very important if the government can take the seat. If the Malindi people can know that it's better for you to be the government. Because what is the point you identify with the opposition who are not even prepared to get power even come 2017? People who are just joking, running around, making noise. The only best thing to do is to abuse the government. So why do you identify with them? So it depends with the electorate. They can still decide to go in the wilderness in the name of opposition. So it's about them to decide what they want. But I think that's not the right thing for a human being to choose.
Oh yeah, that's quite hard hitting for the opposition. Mr. Gitonga, you people in CORD are fighting tooth and nail to ensure that this seat doesn't go away from you. Remember, it was a CORD seat. Now you are working hard to retain the seat. Why is it that it's so hard now to get the seat?
Okay, before I get to that, let me say on the outset, Jubilee has been engaging us in these useless by-elections. There is no reason why, in the first place, he goes to Parliament to appoint ministers from Parliament, whereas there are so many other Kenyans. These guys that are appointing from Parliament, it's not that they have any special qualities or special skills such that they could not have gotten from the rest of Kenyans. But in my opinion, is that they want to get the opportunity to test the ground before the next general elections to see whether their brown envelopes have been working. Unfortunately, the information we have so far from Malindi is that Malindi is still very corded, let alone Malindi, the whole of the coast region. And for CORD, it will not mean much that we've won, because it's rather obvious. But to us, it's rather obvious. It's rather obvious going to win. But it vindicates the coastal people that they will not easily succumb to bribery. there's the issue of voting an MP is when you go into government. The government is supposed to serve all people equally, whether they're in opposition or whether they vote or whether they vote for the candidates of the government of the day. But with the Jubilee, of course, they have said and they have acted. They have done that indeed. That they identify people with how they voted for them or how did they vote for them. The president is on record when he was in Mombasa telling the people of Mombasa that we know you people did not vote for Jubilee, but we are going to do this. The services that we get from government are not a privilege. They are not a favor. They are a right, because we are taxpayers, whether we vote for the government today or not.
For me to come in this platform repeating the same thing, which now you are forcing me to do by telling you that the reason as to why people form a political party is only to form a government, not to be called a strong opposition. That is the bottom line. So what I'm simply saying, the Mombasa people, because when you talk about ideology, what is the ideology behind the so-called call? Is a group of people who have come together with their desperation looking to get power. But in fact, you look at it with the arrangement. Because as I think I told you the other day, even when you talk about CORD, everybody knows that the so-called Kalonzo must actually be a candidate on its own. He must be a candidate. Raila must be a candidate. Meaning that CORD, you're only using it here. So you are seeing there's no position, there's no government in that arrangement. You know the point? So that's what I'm simply saying. Government need to work for everybody. And you are saying here that maybe you are being subjected to useless election or by elections. These people were not actually poached. They are people who have been tested, and in fact, when the government or the president was appointing them,
they were not poached, they were bought.
Whatever it is, the way you want to call it.
They were bought.
Yeah,
no, the way you want to call it. But what I'm simply saying, they accepted that call from the president that in fact they can serve in various positions. And that's why they had to leave those positions. Then they go to another where they are now, as we are talking. So that's what I'm simply saying.
That's what you call self-serving politics. Because there's a guy who has been elected here by about 20,000 or 50,000 people. And then one day he wakes up and tells me, guys, I don't need your job anymore. I've been appointed to go and serve. And which is a larger ministry, really? Is it just one ministry or a whole constituency? Really? Other than the only reason, the only underlying reason that would make any member of parliament to leave a seat and go and take a ministerial appointment is simply because of corruption.
My friend,
because
if you appointed the CS, you are not a CS of Murang'a, neither Kiambu nor Kisumu, whatever. You are a CS in that docket.
Yes,
to Kenya. So you cannot compare with actually Starehe where you want to contest. Starehe is actually a constituency, but when you are a CS, you are serving each and every.
But an MP does not just have he represents a constituency in the National Assembly. In the National Assembly, an MP.
I agree.
So he serves
I agree, but
there's a member of parliament.
There's a jurisdiction which actually where he was elected as a member of parliament. But when you are CS, actually you belong to everybody in this Republic of Kenya. So that's what I'm simply saying. These guys were not bored, they were not neither poached. Actually, they're professionals. They are people who deserve. As we are talking, I will not heard of Malindi people complaining that why did you take, or actually those people. Now we don't want you because now you are a minister. That complaint is not there.
They don't have a problem. Yes. There are so many other people they are elected. They can elect. They can choose from. If you turn down our job, no problem. We just go your way. We'll get someone else. But sorry, the only unfortunate thing is that we are spending a lot of money doing unnecessary elections, money that could have gone into into serving Kenyans better.
Gentlemen, let's talk about that. Now, we look at a situation where sometimes we go to buy elections that perhaps should have not been there in the first place, because I believe there are very many qualified Kenyans who would do even a better job perhaps. Now, if somebody has a job already as a member of parliament, why again pluck this guy and give him the second job? Well, there are very many Kenyans here who don't have jobs actually to even put food on the table. Mr. Samson, is it a trend?
I think, Nick, if it goes back to trickle down to an individual who was appointed. Who is complaining here? He's not complaining. You cannot sit here actually say try to complain. The people who elected are not complaining. this person has accepted. Remember, he's not actually, that's what I'm using the word actually, he was not being poached.
No,
the guy, because when you want to be appointed,
the issue is
the appointment, there's a way somebody is being appointed.
No, the issue is not
Nobody
about
can
you.
just
Let's
announce
say,
your name in the newspaper.
The issue is about the by-election. Why subject us to unnecessary by-election?
It's not unnecessary, because even the person who was there would have said it is unnecessary for me to leave this office. But you've not said now you're speaking here on his behalf. How?
It's not on his behalf. I'm talking about our money, taxpayers' money.
Which taxpayers' money?
Gentlemen, cool it down. Now, let's ask this question here. Is it in order? Because we all know, we've seen now 2 cases, or like 3, where an MP is appointed as a CS. This MP did not resign prior to that appointment. He was appointed while still serving in Parliament. This MP just resigns. He resigns only when now it's confirmed as a member of the cabinet, but not before that. Doesn't it now tell us that our MPs only represent us because they don't have anything else to do?
No, but
I think, let's look at this thing critically. These MPs we have, do they have the capacity to say, no, I was voted to serve my people for 5 years, please let me go on with my work and serve my people,
I don't have
and then
problem,
appoint me later.
Nick, I don't have problem with MPs, because we've seen even people who are working for the government, but in fact after 6, maybe they stand before 6 months to election, so that they can join what? Politics. So why is it that you're looking for MP resigning? It goes back to individual. There are some colleagues who said, why? But you are resigning for your job. You know, you are a professional, you are going to join politics. Someone say, no, you are leaving politics, you are going to be, you get the point. So it depends on how you are looking into it. But to me, I don't have any problem.
So it's not a case of the executive interfering with the legislature.
But again, you are saying that somebody resigning after being appointed. Those are actually some kind of problems. Maybe need actual interpretation, and that's why we have the court to interpret for you what you are asking. Now, if he did it illegally or legally,
in your own wisdom, does it augur well for an elected member of parliament who already has a job to represent people in the constituency to just walk away out of the people, and then find another job for 1 year or 2 years, and then that becomes the order of the day?
For self-serving politicians, okay, there's no problem with that. But for somebody with conscience, they definitely should not be doing that. And by the way, that is a gross interference with our legislative assembly. Because what they are doing here, they are leading directly from Moi's script. Those are kind of politics, whereby to intimidate or to dangle carrots for MPs. That if you are good, if you support our agenda.
Are you talking about Moi the individual, or are you talking about Moi in terms of the character and the people in it? What do you mean by
just a minute? Let me complete this. I think
they have borrowed from Moi governance. That they tell the members of parliament, if you are good to us, we can appoint you minister. And that's exactly what they are doing. It's compromising the independence of parliament.
Ojo, are you in agreement with that?
I'm not in agreement. I only wanted to know, because he's talking about Moi, because there's Moi the person and Moism, which is a continuation of maybe, according to him, bad things, which I'm seeing actually also in court, because we are seeing your leader, who is actually Secretary General of actually KANU. He has not even returned actually the life membership of that KANU. So what I'm simply saying, so when you talk about Moism, then actually it goes also back to court.
For your information, Jacom was not Secretary General of KANU. He was Secretary General of a merged party between KANU and NDP. That was not KANU.
So you see, there was a difference. Was there any difference?
To massage his ego.
No. You say it was new KANU, not KANU, and he says it was just KANU.
So are you saying that the KANU you are talking, Moi we are talking about, died now? Because also Moi was in the new KANU, so we have a clean Moi. Is that what you are saying? Then you are contradicting.
When they left, when the merger broke, okay, KANU, the old KANU remained, and that is what Nanik took over. Uhuru and Gideon. Okay, that is what they took over, and now unfortunately it is split kidogo. Okay, that is what gave birth to TNA and URP.
Yeah.
They are the same, they are still the same KANU.
Actually, you are a con man. You are a serious leader.
And that is why you seriously, there is no difference between the governors we have now and that of KANU, more of KANU boy. And they're always preaching you need to be in government,
You know the problem? You are talking as if you are talking to me, but
what is
viewers are outside there listening to you. Yeah, because what you are saying, that's why I've given you time.
being in government, or being, did you
I've
see
given
the
you
other
time
day?
to tell us about viewers. Actually, talk to viewers.
Okay, gentlemen, let me arrest this at this point. It's just too hot. It's just too hot. Whether it is KANU or new KANU or it is whatever, this is the cardinal talk. I told you, this is where you can get all this kind of politics being done, analyzed in this very, very fashion. Please don't go away. We are going for a short break. We'll be back very soon. Viewers, if you're joining right now, this is the Cardinal Talk, and today we have been discussing the possibilities and scenarios that perhaps would come in tomorrow once the by-elections for Malindi are actually done with. As you know, all the principals, all the leading lights of political parties are down in the coast, right in Malindi, trying to woo the voters in this very last-minute rush to get the win that is so much deserved. With me to discuss this, if you're joining right now, is Samson Ojiayo and Gitonga Wadhanga. Jubilee CORD. Now, in a summary, guys, what is the possibility of ODM getting this seat?
In Malindi, the question is not who will get the seat. What we are looking at in Malindi is the gap. Okay, it's the gap of the win. Yeah, seriously.
I mean, it's the gap of the win.
Yeah, of the win.
The win is certain.
Yeah, that one you can take to the bank. That one you can.
So I wish you'd say that. I wish you'd say that when it comes to general election too.
So what we are talking about here is the percentage of the win, whether we'll get 70 or 80. But we are looking at that region. Yeah, 70, about 70, about 70. Yeah.
You know, Nick, the reason I'm saying that,
what is
yes,
the Jubilee's position is that just on Malindi?
Yes, on Malindi, but I want to say this so that I say Malindi.
Yeah.
I wish you would say that when we are talking about, when we are saying that we know 2017, we are not even seeing a competitor. You get the point? That one, it goes back. No, I know.
Yeah,
I'm coming back. I'm
Malindi.
only addressing what he was saying because I want to use what his words in Malindi to state actually the outcry that people are stealing.
Go ahead, sir.
Unless you are stealing in Malindi the way you are putting it. Because Malindi people, as we are talking here, you don't steal in Malindi. But we are seeing everybody actually is campaigning. So you are counting in terms of margin, which is who is going to, you know the person who is going to win.
Yeah. If you know, and you said you can take that to the bank that ODM will.
I cannot take that to the bank because actually, even as we are talking, ODM is campaigning. The government is also campaigning in Malindi, and in fact, I've not seen actually people rejecting ODM or rejecting. The Jubilee.
They'll do that at the ballot.
So that's what I'm simply saying. My prayer is that maybe to tell the Malindi people, it is better to identify with the government than for the waiting government, which actually is not going to come very soon. So that is the only advice I can give the Malindi people.
Yeah,
don't waste your vote.
But the chances of Jubilee getting this seat, what is yours?
No, the chances are there actually because the campaign is still on.
Yeah.
You cannot rule it out that there's
until the very
last vote until the very last vote. Yeah. Because I know these people are fond of crying when it's come to the last minute actually because they are good in making noise here but finishing they are very poor. You know how they do it.
Yeah, that is.
They are very poor in finishing.
That could be something that is weighty. You guys are very good at actually mobilizing the track, and then you can't finish a race.
Of course, we can't finish. No, finishing is bad. When you are not, we are not the referee. When you have the referee in the pocket, okay. Of course, you have the advantage of having a nice finish. If the tallying is done from nowhere, figures are just figures are just brought in that cannot be expressed. So how can you compete against that? How? Have a good your last case. Okay.
Okay.
Jubilee is not in IEBC.
That's a little bit
but this
damning for
time-
Jubilee.
Yeah, no, but we are not in
But this
IEBC.
time,
That is an independent
even
body.
Jacob has promised, and we are working towards it. It's not going to happen again.
No, not again.
No, not again.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, now let's switch gears a little bit. Now let's look at IBC. IBC that actually is not running the voter registration properly. The people are crying everywhere. It's not adequately done like people thought. IBC that is now going to do 2 different by-elections, and IBC that actually is still struggling with the public image crisis that it got in the 2013. Now, do we now look at these 2 by-elections as having the potential to cleanse the IEBC further?
Nick, what do you mean by public image? Because I'm not saying, because if you are crying because you are fond of doing that, even tomorrow you will cry. IEBC do not need actually to bring another image, because there are some people immediately after election they started crying. This is 5 years going to come to an end. They are still crying. As we are talking, we've started a new chapter of 2017. They are now saying National Youth Service, the people who are recruited, in fact, their names have been found where? We've not seen one person now in police recording a statement and in fact now taking the person who's liable to court. We have not seen that. So these are only people who are politicking and creating tension day in, day out. And they know for a fact that actually they are not going to win an election because they are not prepared.
Mr. Gitonga, how long are you going to keep crying?
One thing is, for the people in Jubilee, they don't see anything bad with IBC. Of course, IBC is raising their corner. They don't see anything bad when reports come from outside countries that these people have been bribed. Okay, these people have taken in bribes so that they can give out tethers.
The chicken gets scandal.
The chicken gets started. Of course, to him that doesn't dent their public image because that is the way.
No, I'm
of
saying
doing
this
things
way.
in Jubilee. IEBC as it is constituted now, definitely they don't have the moral authority now to continue to conduct our 2017 elections.
But
and they have it actually need to be reconstituted.
you remember
IBC
when
has to be reconstituted.
Remember,
now, just holding on to that.
yes,
The chicken gets scandal. Right now, we know there are a lot of investigations going on about the chicken gets scandal.
Yes.
The only thing that actually makes us remain perplexed is the fact that IBC is taking this after the British courts had fined people and arrested people and convicted guys of the wrongdoings of the chicken scandal. However, that one said and done. Do you think the IBC that we have right now is impartial, is professional, enjoys the public support, is a body that actually...
that is what I was asking Nick. What do you mean by enjoying the public support? Simply because some few individuals are crying somewhere. Because today...
What do you mean crying?
No, yes, that's what I'm saying. Because I remember, you remember an idea of anarchy which happened after 2013 election. A political party taking actually a petition to court in a Supreme Court, and in the same petition they want to disband IEBC. They want actually election to be nullified at the same time. And you know, by that time when we are going for election, there was no parliament. How can you constitute actually an IEBC outside to hold a different election minus parliament? You get the point? So these are a group of anarchists who do not even believe in rule of law.
A group of anarchists.
It's a group of anarchists.
Oh, gracious.
You know, yes. How do you do that?
Yours is an assembly of anarchists.
Yes.
And you guys can do that.
Unless it's got a different definition for the word anarchy.
Yeah.
Which anarchists?
Yes. Can I explain?
Which anarchists?
Can I
go to
explain?
court? This
Can I
one-
explain?
this one-
Just hold on.
These people,
Yes.
against probably good advice, they went to court, okay? Because they didn't want the best for this country.
Yes.
They wanted peace for this country.
Yes.
And as much as they were not so certain that the courts were gonna serve justice, but we still went. And when they didn't serve the justice as it was, they didn't even listen to the case. But we accepted, and they accepted the verdict.
The question
not that
is-
they agreed with it, but They accepted it. Were they anarchists?
No.
Would they have accepted?
Listen to this.
Would they
Listen to
have
this.
accepted
Listen to this.
the verdict, the judgment? Of course not.
Nick, the reason why I'm using that word, if there's no parliament, and in fact you are saying the election should be nullified, and you are saying the only government we can get, we must pass through an IEBC, which actually with that same petition, you want to be disbanded. If you are not seeing an anarchist kind of idea, because you want to use some kind of law to bring confusion in a state. In other words, there are no people in that the so-called code who love this nation. They are a group of people who I don't care attitude. That's why they could do such kind of a thing. Not that they lack illegal mind. Those are lawyers, people like Akina Orengo, Akina Watangula, Akina Kalonzo Musyoka. They know actually what is step. To disband the IEBC, you say that there's no government. Who was to call back the government in parliament? So that we start to come up with a new IEBC. So are you not seeing the idea of anarchy?
There is no anarchy. Of course, there would have been a way of dealing with it.
Tell us the way. People want to listen to the way.
There have been the lawyers would be better.
No. Tell the way. Tell the way.
Okay. A commission, definitely. Even the court could have probably ruled how the commission was going, and another IBC was going to be set up.
No, we are dealing about the constitution here. These are into constitutional issues here. So when we are dealing with the constitution, we are saying, because we know if the president dies, what happens? If actually government comes down, what happened? Tell me, if you disband all these bodies and the parliament is not there, what was supposed to happen? You get the point. Those are serious issues, and they knew what they were doing.
Arguing from your point.
Yes.
I look at a situation where you want to mention that if parliament is not sitting down, or parliament is not in session, and if there's anything wrong that has happened, then we can't find a way out as a country.
Now, where do you start?
We can't coalesce against or around an idea that is going to help us find a solution as a country.
That's what
you
you are saying should be actually part of the 2010 constitution, which there's no provision dealing with that. But anarchists can actually do it down the street.
Let me give you an example. The coalition government, was not formed in parliament.
I can tell you.
Funded by parliament.
I can tell you.
And again, there was no provision, say, for the post of the prime minister in our constitution.
Yes.
But it happened. It was done. It was discussed.
Circumstances dictated.
Yes.
Can I tell you one thing, Nick? On that, because when we leave that, we are also talking with the people also there. Because when you leave that, then you are doing a mistake. Remember, after actually Serena, Annan had to plead with the Kenyan MP, so that whatever they were doing in Serena should take actually to parliament, so that those people, he was only praying for parliamentary to the parliament was there, for your information. Here is a case whereby there was no parliament. You get the point? Now, where do you wanted us to go? Because we don't have any clause within our constitution which can say that now, then status quo remains, meaning that MPs need to go back to parliament, we have the president, then we start. Was it the way to go?
The petition, the petition, by the way, was on the presidential. Yeah, but the petition was on the presidential elections. It wasn't. It wasn't on the parliamentarian. It wasn't.
But the parliament was not there. Parliament was not there by then. By that time.
But that was not good to stop the need.
No, it would not work. Actually,
the petition was on presidential vote. Not on parliament.
It was actually disbanded.
Okay, guys, it's I know this one can go over and over and over and over. Now, with the little minutes remaining, like 2 or 3, let us change this topic a little bit and take a look at the trips that the president has been taking out of the country. There have been so many trips. In fact, somewhere down the line, some people asking whether we've got a traveling president, and others also made kind of jokes that our president should actually seek terms elsewhere. But the thinking is, do you think all these trips actually help Kenya in a way? What are they bringing back into the country? Does the trip translate into any meaningful kind of benefit to the Kenyan people, diplomatically, economically, or politically?
In my opinion, other than amassing frequent flyer miles, I don't see any what other benefit they are listening that those trips bring in the country. Because you look at it this way, in these days of technology, you really don't even have to go and visit a neighbor or for a business transaction. You don't even have to go to a business partner's office. You carry out your business. Normally, heads of state, when they go to visit a country, it's not really to do deals or or necessarily to sign. It can be signed elsewhere. They are even signed by the ministers. Then they just go to witness, and normally people just go to visit just for marriage, just to show, just a visit, just to show that we have cordial relations. But it's not necessarily to go and start signing deals.
Nick, I think
yes, Mr. Yeah.
maybe the question would be, is president doing this thing within the law or actually breaking the law? Which we know the answer actually is doing it within the law. And number two, we've seen, and there is only that now trying to deny fact, that even we are talking about when president went to China, we know the kind of things which he came up with, and actually the promise and things which are working. He has visited, and he's not just going actually, and when he goes there, he stated categorically, I'm going here, and this is what I'm going to do. Some of them are in the public domain. But because we are only here, because I can see the face of Gitonga is a serious opposition. He's actually fond of that. You can oppose anything.
For the sake of it.
The opposition, you can oppose God and the devil at the same time. Now, don't oppose everything. There is a reason as to why we have the president. He's doing this thing within the law. So wait for your time 2044. I've been saying this one. It will come.
There are so many things that you can do within the law, but they are not right.
They're not right.
Yeah. What do you mean that they're not right?
Okay, gentlemen. I think now I must stop this at this very end. I know you guys can never cease to exchange fire because this is a kind of a political crossfire. Now, this is the Cardinal Talk. It's been lively having you guys around. In fact, keep a point of being with us every Sunday, the same time, for even more juicier, more interesting topics on your Cardinal Talk Show. This is LTN, and I've been your host, Nick Okello.